The first time the alien queen grabbed my wrist, every weapon in the chamber powered up, and every instinct I had told me I was already dead. Her fingers were cool, almost metallic, yet trembling, as if she were the one afraid. The air inside the throne hall of Zalthera Station shimmered with hard light shields and hovering drones, their lenses burning red into my skin. I was a human envoy in a room built for gods. And I had just touched the queen. I hadn't meant to. That was the worst part. All I'd done was react. But what happened next changed everything. The chamber fell silent. Not the tense silence of soldiers holding their breath, but a stunned, impossible quiet. The alien queen leaned closer, her elongated crown casting fractured shadows across her face. Her eyes, like liquid starlight trapped in glass, locked onto mine. Her voice dropped to a whisper meant only for me. Do that again. None of us were prepared for the truth. I was never supposed to be here. Humans weren't conquerors in this galaxy. We were a footnote. A newly contacted species barely tolerated by the ancient civilizations that ruled the stars. When the Concord of Systems summoned Earth to Zalthera, it wasn't an invitation. It was an evaluation. And evaluations, we'd learned, often ended in extinction. They chose me because I was expendable. A former combat medic turned diplomatic aide. Someone who knew how to keep breathing when everything around him screamed to panic. Someone who could die quietly without causing a war. But that was only the beginning. The Queen, Empress Veilrix of the Cenari, was rumored to be emotionless. A being of pure logic, ruling a civilization that had replaced empathy with efficiency 10,000 years ago. She had crushed rebellions by calculating their inevitability before they began. Entire species had knelt before her throne and left as ash. So when she descended from her dais and approached me, my heart slammed against my ribs like it wanted out. She studied me the way a surgeon studies a scalpel. "Human," she said. "You may approach." My legs moved before my mind agreed. The chamber's floor pulsed faintly beneath my boots, alive with alien circuitry. I could feel every eye on me. Ambassadors, warforms, ancient intelligences housed in floating orbs. If I made a mistake, Earth would pay for it. I stopped a meter from her. Protocol demanded distance. Then she reached out. I flinched. It was instinct. The kind drilled into me on battlefields where hesitation meant bleeding out in the dirt. My hand came up not to strike but to steady, to catch, to ground. My fingers brushed her wrist. The effect was immediate. She gasped. Not a calculated vocalization. A real one. Sharp. Broken. The Queen of 1,000 Systems staggered as if struck, her knees threatening to buckle. I grabbed her fully then, my hand closing around her arm to keep her from falling. That was when every weapon activated. But that was also when she whispered those words. "Do that again." They dragged me away seconds later. Hard light restraints snapped around my limbs as the chamber erupted in chaos. I shouted, demanded explanations, tried to tell them I'd only reacted. No one listened. Humans never mattered enough to listen. I was thrown into a containment cell, sterile, humming, too quiet. My pulse still roared in my ears. I replayed the moment again and again. The way her skin had felt. The way her breath had caught. The way something had moved. I knew battlefield hallucinations. New shock. This wasn't that. Hours passed. Or days. Time meant nothing in that box. Then the door dissolved into light. The Queen entered alone. No guards. No weapons. Just her and those impossible eyes. "You carry it naturally," she said. "Carry what?" My voice cracked despite myself. She stepped closer. "Resonance." I laughed once, sharp and humorless. "I'm a medic, not a mystic." She tilted her head. "That is why. None of us were prepared for the truth. The Cenari had evolved beyond pain, or so they believed. Millennia ago, they had engineered away emotional variants to stabilize their empire. No fear. No grief. No love. Only clarity. Only something had gone wrong. Without emotion, they lost adaptability, creativity, the ability to respond when the universe behaved irrationally. Their technology advanced, but their civilization stagnated, brittle and precise. And beneath it all, a hidden flaw. Their nervous system still felt but had no way to process it. It accumulated, built pressure, drove their leaders into silent madness, including their queen. "When you touched me," Veilrix said, The noise stopped. She reached for me again, slower this time. I didn't pull away. The moment our skin met, I felt it. A surge like static discharging through my bones. Her posture eased. Her breath evened. You grounded me, she whispered. Your species evolved with chaos. With contradiction. You feel and function simultaneously. Your nervous systems regulate emotion through contact. You're saying, my throat went dry. You need humans. Yes. The word echoed like a death sentence. But that was only the beginning. The Concord didn't see it that way. They saw opportunity. Within days, secret proposals circulated. Human liaisons embedded in Sonari command. Touch regulators. Emotional dampeners. A resource to be managed. Slavery wrapped in diplomacy. I was summoned to a closed session. The Queen present. The other species watching. Earth will provide volunteers, a Concord elder declared. In exchange for protection. Volunteers. I knew what that meant. I looked at Veilrix. For the first time I saw something flicker across her face. Guilt. She met my gaze. I will not allow this. The chamber murmured. Shock rippled outward. You already have, I said quietly. She turned to me. Help me stop it. That was the moment, the midpoint where everything cracked open. Because the truth hit me all at once. Humans weren't the cure. We were the missing piece. The experiments began anyway. Not on Earth. On me. I agreed on one condition. Full access. They wired my nervous system into Sonari neurointerfaces. Let me feel what they suppressed. The pressure. The constant overload. The endless restraint. It nearly broke me. I screamed inside machines older than our sun. Felt centuries of denied emotion crash through alien minds like a flood. Rage. Sorrow. Longing. Things they had buried alive. Veilrix stayed with me through it all. Her hand in mine. Always. You suffer, she said once. So do you, I replied. You just forgot how to name it. But that was only the beginning. When the Concord tried to seize the research, she acted. The Queen dissolved the council. Shut down the weapons. Broadcast the truth to every system. The Sonari were dying. Not from weakness but from denial. And humans weren't tools. We were mirrors. The backlash was immediate. Fleets mobilized. Accusations flew. War loomed like a drawn breath. Veilrix stood before them all. I choose uncertainty, she said. I choose feeling. I choose humanity. They called it treason. They called it madness. They called for her execution. And that was when humanity did the impossible. Earth didn't send warships. We sent people. Medics. Engineers. Artists. Teachers. Millions volunteered, not to serve but to connect. To stand beside alien minds and remind them how to feel without drowning. The galaxy watched as humans walked unarmed into the heart of ancient empires. And nothing burned. The Concord fractured. Some systems fell. Others adapted. The Sonari changed first, slowly, painfully, beautifully. Veilrix abdicated the throne. She became something else. So did I. Years later, on a quiet platform overlooking a newborn star, she took my wrist again. Not in desperation. Not in need. But in choice. Do that again, she whispered, smiling in a way her species once thought impossible. I squeezed back, feeling the steady human beat beneath her alien skin. And for the first time in galactic history, power wasn't measured in fleets or fire, but in the courage to feel. That was the moment humanity stopped being insignificant and became essential.